was November 29th, 2020, when we found out we were expecting our daughter, Kaia.
Mm-hmm. It's a big surprise.
Yeah, we definitely weren't trying, but I was 6 days late, and I took the test, and at first the line wasn't showing up, because it was just really faint, and I kept looking at me like, I see it, and then you would look at it, and you're like...
Yeah, it's not there.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a shadow or something.
Yeah, or like a indent line or something. But I waited like 10 minutes, and I could see some color in it, and so I just like was freaking out. And I was surprised. I thought you were gonna freak out, but you just seemed like really cool.
So I had already decided before, since she was late, that, you know, if it happened, then it happened. I got my freaking out early.
Yeah, but then like the freaking out turned to excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think that day we were just elated to be having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I told my mom right away because
we had no idea what to do.
I didn't even have insurance at the time. Like, I was just like, oh shit. So I remember getting on the phone with my mom, and I was like, checks your text messages. What does that look like? She's like, a positive pregnancy test? And I was like, yeah, it's mine. And she was like, is this like an early April Fool's?
She
and
didn't
I was
believe
like,
her.
I was like, yeah, in November. This is an early, no, it's mine. And again, she like asked for clarification again, because she thought we were like pulling her leg, and I was like, no, this is us. And she was just so excited. I remember her kind of just laughing and like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
We did wait to tell your family though.
Well, my dad was shortly after, because
You wanted to tell him in person.
Yeah, I wanted to tell him in person. He came in, and we went to the Target. Then we got coffee, and we sat him down, and that's when we had him close his eyes, and we put a little baby Yoda onesie in front of him and opened his eyes, and he instantly knew what was going on. Well, he actually did like a double take.
Well, because he thought it was a shirt for him.
Yeah, he did. He was like, this is kind of small for me. And then it clicked, and he was like, no, wait, what? And then he instantly started crying.
Yeah.
So that was him. And then later on, I think it was like a few weeks later, we went to New Orleans, and that's where my mom and Bobby, her husband, and we sat them down, had them close their eyes along with my brother. And when they opened their eyes, again, it was the little baby Yoda onesie, and my mom instantly knew, and she was so happy. Mm-hmm. My brother had no idea what was going on until he finally got it.
I feel like it took him a good
it took him a while.
Like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah. You didn't know why mom was crying, but so it was awesome. It was awesome being able to surprise my parents, because they were like first-time grandparents.
Yeah. And then we told the rest of my family at Christmas. Had everybody gather into the living room, and pulled that same onesie out. And I was like, hey everyone, unrolled it, and I was like, how do you think this is gonna look on our baby? And nobody got it at first, and then eventually they finally realized when my sister-in-law Lindsay was like, is this an announcement? We were like, yeah. And then everybody started crying, and everybody was just so excited.
So after the test, we pretty much had an idea for some reason that we knew she was a girl. Yeah. Every single time we referred to her or the baby, we were always referred to the baby as like her. So
yeah, and I remember like thinking like, why are we calling it her? Like, we don't even know yet.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, we just both knew like
it was gonna be a girl.
Like a parental instinct that it was a girl. Now there's technology where you can find out the gender of your baby like really early. So we'd had that test around 10 weeks, and it took a couple weeks to get back. And I do remember he was in a company meeting. I was out in the living room, and I checked my email, and it gave me the results. And you can open those results with fetal sex or without, and immediately my hands started sweating. And I opened the results and saw it said female, and I immediately started crying. Came in here and I was like standing at the door trying to not be seen.
She actually scared me at first because I heard her whimpering and I turned around and I saw her just bawling and I had no idea what had happened because I was in my meeting. So then I muted everything, turned off the camera, and went over to talk to her, and that's when she told me that we were having a girl. Super excited me.
You wanted a girl too?
Yeah.
He wants 3 girls.
Yes.
Or was it 4?
It was 3.
3, okay. I think one of my favorite things that you did right off the bat was lay on my belly and you'd start talking to her. Even though she couldn't hear you yet. Yeah. You just immediately were such a good dad already. Around 12 weeks, I started feeling her kicking, fluttering feeling, but I knew it was her. And I really wanted you to feel it, but obviously you couldn't feel it because you couldn't feel it from the outside. So I wasn't showing for a long time, and so I just continued working on these TV shows. And so our baby is a little TV star. She's been in a lot of shows, none of which I can name here because I signed an NDA, but I will say that she did hear the Foo Fighters live. So if you happen to see the Foo Fighters in a TV show anytime soon, she was there. My cravings.
Yep. She had cravings, and apparently this is a world traveling baby.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to just have food everywhere and was different every single day. So
every meal.
Yeah.
It was like, right. I want Mexican, and okay, now we're going to Japan, and don't mind
Italy.
me some Deutschland now.
Yeah, and now Italy.
Yeah.
So we got to experience a whole bunch of foods.
Yeah.
And some weird ones, like a glass of pickle juice.
Yeah. Or just, I had to have meatloaf, and I hate meatloaf. I'm sorry, no, you didn't like meatloaf either, and I made you eat one. We had this app on my phone that would track, like, the pregnancy week by week. And so there was a lot of developmental milestones and everything. And the thing that you were most interested in is, like, when can she hear us? Because
I wanted to talk to her.
Yeah. Right away, we started talking to her. You know, he started telling really horrendous dad jokes.
Yeah.
We just laugh and talk to her and sing, and then your mom sent you something.
Yeah, my mom sent me this little music box. So you turn it and it plays You Are My Sunshine. So I used to press it up against her tummy and just let Kaia listen to it. Mainly when she was going wild at night.
Yeah. It was almost torture. Like the amount that she moved and kicked, like the force behind that kick. And it started, you knew it was 9 p.m. at night because she would start going nuts.
Promptly.
Yeah. Every night, 9:30 to almost midnight. She did her little CrossFit sesh. We used to go to Target to the workout section and like look at the tiny dumbbells that were like 1 to 2 pounds and be like, yeah, we're gonna get those, and get her like a little yoga mat. So she's like, the second she comes out of the womb, she's gonna be lifting.
Yeah.
I want to say around 32 weeks, that's when she developed her opinion of me wearing pants. Yeah.
She'd go crazy whenever she put pants on.
Yeah, she'd feel like the band of the pants, and these were like, you know, stretchy pregnancy pants. But she didn't like that. I felt her little hands like start punching. She didn't like anything touching her belly.
I used to always tell her, you need to settle down, little Kai Pai. You can't be giving your mom all this craziness.
I always knew I was going to have like a 10-pound baby or something because I was over 11 pounds when I was born. So, you know, it wasn't something that I was concerned with. I figured I was going to handle it the way my mom and my grandmother handled it, which is easy for them. Then we were in the home stretch, like the final month before the due date, which was for August 5th, 2021. Every day I could feel her getting stronger and stronger, and I just feared, like, how can I take a month more of this? Like, it was painful. at some points. And then I started thinking, like, if this kicking's hurting, like, how am I going to handle labor? We used to play whack-a-mole with her feet.
Yeah.
It was so funny because I could feel that she was interacting with us.
Yeah. I'd be chasing her little feet, grabbing
all
them and
over,
stuff. All over.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
It was so cute. Like, just feeling the shape of her foot, too, was amazing through the belly.
She kicked me in the face a few times.
Oh, yeah, that was so funny.
Put my head on her belly, and then I get the little kicks. That was cute.
Like, hey, you! And then she's like, whack!
Yeah.
One of the really interesting things to me, though, was that I could tell when she was about to settle down and go to sleep because she would take, let's see, she was head down. So on my left side, so that would be her right foot, I could feel that she'd like kind of pull that one up close to her belly, and then her left foot, she would stretch it out all the way to like my rib cage. And she would have her hands like this, and then her head was like, you know, down. And I actually go to sleep like that myself. Like, not while I was pregnant because I have a huge belly, but I go to sleep on my stomach with one of my legs up and the other one stretched out with my arms tucked in right here. And it just was amazing to me that something like a sleeping position could be a genetic trait. That it's just wild to me. We were in the final few weeks before her due date, and so they were like, well, you need to get a pediatrician, and your colleagues had this amazing pediatrician. We like saw some videos of him and we were like, we like that guy, so we got a consultation with him that Wednesday, and just loved him. Like, he was great, so we were very excited to be having him as her doctor. And then that Friday, I had my 36-week OB appointment, and we did some tests, some blood tests, and watched her on the ultrasound. Everything looked good. Everything was, you know, routine, normal. And then that Saturday, you had that
top producers meeting,
and she was, you know, just, I wore pants.
Yep.
Which was a mistake. Yep. So and I had like this belly belt thing on, which like as soon as we got there, I ripped it off and put it. So she was like, hell no, you're not putting something on this belly. And so she was just like going wild, kicking me for wearing those pants, and I was just like pulling at them and chewing on ice chips the whole time. So we didn't stay too long because she was
wild
protesting the pants. And so I was like, I need to go in the pool. Because I was, at that point, I was so big, and I remember everybody's like, you're so big!
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I'm getting comments before that, too, from strangers. They'd be like, oh, any day now.
Any day now.
You're gonna pop.
Yeah. So yeah, I knew she was big. But I needed to go home and get in a swim session, because it takes the weight off of you. And while I was in the pool, I was like, I'm like a whale.
Yeah.
And so I told him, like, you gotta take some home movies of your pet whale for your daughter.
Yes.
This is my pet whale. She swims and she floats. There are many like her, but this one is mine. I take that back, there's none like her. She's the only whale that exists. I'm sorry. As you can see, existence is horrid out of the ocean. One and only. Here we see the whale indulging its nutritional value of, what is this? It's me. It's the whale. Me. It's the fair life.
And then the rest of that evening was, you know, relaxing and, you know, on par for the course. She did her usual moving around as she did while I was going to sleep. And the next day, on Sunday, every parent's worst nightmare became our reality. I woke up and I immediately knew something was wrong, and we rushed over to Cedars-Sinai, and our worst fears were confirmed that our daughter had passed away. They wanted to induce me right then and there, but I couldn't do it right then, so we scheduled it for the next day, and I delivered her stillborn. I remember reading that stillbirth was 1 in 160 births, and that child loss happens in 1 in 4 parents. And I never, ever thought that that would happen to us. It's like something that you don't, that doesn't happen to people like us. But it did. And I feel like people don't talk about it in the same manner that they talk about losing a living child, even though to us it's the same exact thing, because she was a real person. She had a personality. She was our daughter. July 13th was
the best
and the worst day of our lives.
It was the best because we finally got to see our daughter. But the worst because we had, at the same time, we had to say goodbye.
It was just astounding. She looked exactly as I dreamt she would look. Even more beautiful.
She was the most beautiful. She was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
I don't know how we made something so pretty. I mean, maybe we're biased, but I honestly don't feel like we were. She was really pretty. So perfect. And the hardest part is that there was nothing wrong. There was, the pathology came back on the placenta and the cord, and everything was fine. Genetically, everything was fine. We're waiting back on some diagnostic tests for me for, blood clotting factors and everything, but there was nothing wrong, and she just died. I think that's the hardest part, is that everybody wants to have a reason to blame, and there isn't one. It's just that this happens. Unfortunately, it happens, and thankfully, you and I have like a really deep understanding that death is a part of life, and that doesn't make it easier, but I guess we can make it accept it.
Yeah,
in a
able
way.
to come to terms with it.
Yeah, without, feeling tortured by wanting to know why.
Yeah.
I feel if there's anything that I can be grateful for, it's the fact that you and I don't fight. We don't even argue about things. If there is an issue, we come at it as a team against a problem rather than people against each other.
Yeah.
Every day is just filled with love and laughter and banter with each other, so I feel, though we only had her for 37 weeks, I am comfortable knowing that that entire time she felt love, only love, and warmth and happiness, and she came into life feeling my heartbeat, and she went to sleep feeling my heartbeat, and for that I can be grateful that she only knew love. It's the other thing that I am grateful for is that I feel like she transformed our relationship. I feel like our love for each other got stronger, not in just the journey of carrying Kaia, but in the delivery room as well.
Mm-hmm. It was like, you were just amazing. How taking all the pain, going through everything, like, just blew my mind that I found a superwoman.
It blew my mind and my sister-in-law's. She's like, I can't believe how attentive Kameron was to you and how supportive he was to you. And I mean, I always knew you were like that, but that just through that whole process, you were amazing. And I feel like our love for each other just expanded infinitely. And I feel like it's gonna make us stronger.
Yeah.
Like, this is not something that's going to break us. We're only gonna come out of this stronger, and we have to.
Yeah.
For the sake of our future family.
Yeah.